part of your business, for example, if you base your pricing on billable hours versus fixed pricing. Manual invoice creation and fixed auto invoicing. So, we create an invoice by hand with tool. We might use various tools for that. Dynamic auto invoicing. Things change. We need to change invoices. We need to add more services. No tool actually allows you to do that today. In most cases, you need to create a new invoice. You need to do a process again. So, for example, if you use QuickBooks or QBO, for example, to do a recurring invoice, and you had a one-time charge, you need to create another invoice, and we learn that. Reminders, so we might use some tools for that. Client manual payments. So today we need to wait for clients to pay. So I describe it always like this, right? You send the invoice, and then we start praying that our clients will actually pay us. And then we see it across the board. Dynamic auto payments. So again, most solutions don't all allow for dynamic auto payments and reconciliation. And what you can actually see here, there are multiple silos, multiple areas in the entire flow, in the value chain of from the moment you create a proposal, send an invoice, getting paid, reconciling it all. And the tools today, no tool actually allow you to have it all in one place. So that creates also the need for multiple tools, multiple payments, broken flows, manual flows. And that's, by the way, affect your business, right? It creates slower solutions. It creates a lot of manual work. There is room for mistake. So for example, something very common, we see that late payments happens because, not always because the client is late paying, but also because we are late in sending the invoice. It takes us time to get to the invoice. I remember it happened to me a number of times. I already was ready to send the invoice, but I had to do my job. I was under time pressure. So I was just waiting with the invoice. So I was getting paid late. It affected me. So that was an issue. And that's the process for one invoice when you think about it, or one client. Think about it when you have 100 invoices per month. When you want to grow your business, you need to chase 100 clients. And still you're getting paid late. I see that Darcy raised the hand. Darcy, you want to write your question in the chat, or feel free to write a question in the chat, Darcy. And it's a never-ending pursuit of payments. So not only you need to do your job, now you need to have another job. That's no worries, that's okay, Darcy. Not only you need to do your job, spend your time bringing new clients, doing the job on time, in the most professional way. You actually have another job which you're not getting paid for, which is getting paid, not billable. So you probably spend about 20% of your time dealing with proposals, invoices, fixes, selling again, all this, a lot of work related to that, changes, updates, making sure you're paid, having difficult discussions with your clients about where's my money versus, hey, let's talk about additional services I can provide you with. The discussion is becoming a negative discussion instead of a positive discussion that will actually help you to increase your revenue, to grow your business with your clients, which is what you want. So yeah, so AR is a mess, and it's bad for your brand, which is you in most cases, and your business. It causes you to lose money, to waste time, and create a friction, and actually create a weak business foundations. You have a list of all the things we identified. There are a few more, but these are the main things that current way billing collections is done that affects your business. Late payments from clients, revenue leakage. Revenue leakage is an interesting one. If at any time, I'm sure it did not happen to you, but I mean, I can tell you it happened to me sometimes. I did an extra job to a client. I was under a lot of pressure. I forgot to bill them. And then I remembered a few months later. And in some cases, I tried to chase the client to pay me, but they're like, what are you talking about? I don't even remember. That was months ago. All the way to, I'm not going to pay you. It was a one-off. Give me a discount. And that's revenue leakage. That's money you're supposed to get, but you're not collecting it for various reasons. I'll see it in a second. Multiple tools cost you money and not a billable operation. And Dave is writing here, I want to read it. I spend about 5 to 10 hours a month billing clients. I spend about 2 or 3 hours per lead generation proposal that are customized to the lead. Then I have to do the billing after I chase them for the signature. That's a big thing. There are tools out there that offer you really cool templates. They promise conversion and things like that, but these templates usually cost you a lot of time and not necessarily create any actual conversion. We took a different approach, and we'll talk in a second, which is a mobile-first proposal that gives your client exactly what your client wants to see, what they're going to pay and how much they're going to pay. So that will help to create a faster conversion. So, for example, Anchor's proposals, you can create them within 2 to 4 minutes per proposal, and clients sign on average within up to 4 minutes. We'll talk about it. Wasting time in creating friction, right? Error prone, delays, expensive. Vendor and client not in sync. So you send your client an invoice. Your client, they need to approve it on their hand because it's manual. They're afraid of mistakes as well. So they also have job to do. So when you send them an invoice, you actually give them work to do to approve your invoice. So that's complicated for them, and they have multiple vendors to work with, so it takes them more time to process it and to pay it. Friction with clients and limited client experience, as I said before, the negative conversation versus the positive one. And creating a weak business foundation. 90% of businesses failures are cash flow related. And you know that because you probably tell your clients the same thing. Manage your cash flow better. And you are you should also always provide an example to your clients. It's prone to fraud and low level of security, especially in these days. Clients, you might send your invoice with a place to put a bank account. Client might give you their credit card or bank account data, which you hold on file, but then if someone hacks into your computer, you're at risk. And it's limiting scale and growth. If you don't manage your cash flow, if you don't collect everything on time, if you don't collect everything, you don't have enough money. It's more difficult to hire additional help to grow your business, to bring more clients. And this is something we want you to be able to do, to simplify your business, to enable you to grow it and to be the best you can. Okay, a question to the audience. We have 26 participants. Let's see if we can get at 25 responses at least. By how many days on average are payments from clients overdue? Do you think in general, like an average? And when I'm saying overdue, I mean, if you agree with your clients, for example, they pay, at the time of the invoice or later. Yeah. So we have 40, we have 15, 35, 30, 35. So I see a very good agreement among everybody that usually clients are at least a month late. In today's environment, the month late, that's almost, I think, 0.65. A month late, that's about 0.4%. That's like the monthly, probably the monthly rate you can do in your money. So these assumptions, these numbers are actually spot on. So about 45.7 of receivables are more than 45 days overdue. By the way, to those of you that like to read more, on the bottom you can see where it's from. This is not our data; it's data we collected from researchers. 92% of businesses pay suppliers late. That even growing now, and I'm sure you know the current climate. 0, exactly, you can draw directly from their bank account. That's always great. 8% of invoices were written off as uncollectible, also an issue. 70.7 days needed by SMBs to chase after late payments, money spent. And 47% of businesses reported deterioration in consumer payments practice during the pandemic, and now it's increasing again because of the economic downturn. By the way, let's not remember that if we have the ability to collect money from a client's account, that's great. Usually it will take us a few minutes. If on average we make $60 per hour, that's what we earn as a business. That's our kind of our pay. If we spend 5 minutes on going to the bank account and collecting it, it actually costs us $5 to go into the bank account and withdraw the money. 5 minutes, $5. 5 minutes less spent on doing other businesses. The reasons are manual AR and AR processes, partly automated solution, challenging collections, and prioritization. Another question. What is the percentage you think of uncollected revenue in an average business? So we talked about the revenue leakage. Did any one of you ever calculate how much money you did not collect from your clients? That you had to give a discount for or something like that? Of the revenue, the top line. Percent. 15%. So there's a lot of research about that, 20%. And there is many researches done by many groups, including, for example, the Boston Consulting Group, if you heard about them. It's a big consulting firm, similar to McKinsey. And across the board, on average, the number is 4.6% of the revenue. That means 4.6% on average of the revenue of firms in the US is lost for multiple reasons. And that's about 30 to 50% of the profit if we take it as a 15% profit margin. So if, for example, your revenue is 100K per year and your net income is about $15,000 keep in your pocket, so 4,500 of that is lost. So you could have not 15,000, you could have left with 20,000 if you would be able to bill everything. Elena, I think I know what you're talking about, and we're going to talk about it in a second. Don't worry. The reasons are manual work or silo team. We rely on memory, emails, spreadsheets, misquotes, raw discounting, misrenewals, penalties, billing errors. These numbers you see here, these are not only the issue of small firms. These go all the way to the top, even to corporates. Everybody's facing that, and I would even argue that for corporates, it's actually higher because they're losing more money, because they have more complicated processes. The more complicated processes are, corporates actually more money is lost. Another question. So we talked about manual work. We talked about processing things, all those things. So let's assume you have an invoice of $500 you send to your clients. Just, I know it can be between 200 to 500 to even more, but let's assume you have one invoice of $500. That's your recurring monthly bill from your clients. What do you think is the cost of that if you add in the amount of time you spend on sending an agreement, on creating and sending the invoice, going to the bank account collecting, or using another process? How much you think, what do you think percentage-wise is the cost of this $500? Percentage-wise. So again, the amount of time you spend on an invoice, the amount of money it costs you to get paid. Any ideas? 1%. Okay, too much. I love it, Wendy. $30 per invoice. So that means $30, that's 10%. Catherine says 10 minutes per month per client. So if she says $10, that's 2%. Right? 25%. Okay. So roughly 20% on average. Why? We spend time on the proposal. We spend time on creating an invoice. We create an invoice. We need to go on the agreement to see how much we're going to bill them. We need to see our amount of work. If it's billable hours, even more complicated. We need to send the invoice. We need to chase the invoice. We need to talk to our clients in some situations. So on average, we talk about $32. So that's quantified by time. Generally, we're speaking about 30 minutes investment on an invoice on average per month. Overall, in a yearly view, again, on average. Revenue leakage, what we discussed, again, this is the average. If you use a credit card, that's 2.9%. If you use cash, wire, checks, QuickBooks Online is 1% to $10. Some companies out there, they're doing billing collection automations, will charge a subscription plus quick credit card fees or ACH fees. And that there's few companies, and that will even skyrocket to even more because you have subscription. Merchant fees, in many cases, you will pay them. The ability to collect ACH and credit card, that also costs you money. Tools and others. So basically, out of a $500 invoice, you're being left with $400, and that's even before taxes and other expenses of the business. It's a lot of money. It's 20%. We can actually eliminate almost all of it for you. And the real end-to-end billing collection automation should solve all the issues you have. No manual invoicing, no manual collections, no follow-up calls, no late payments, no manual reconciliation, no errors, no frustrations. Basically, not doing billing, just doing your job, your day-to-day job, and simply get paid. Also not paying excessive fees, subscriptions, things like that. And that's what Netflix and other companies are doing, right? For example, your mobile operator. If you travel abroad and you spend, you speak a bit more and you use your data package a bit more, there's not going to be a person sitting on the computer calculating the extra amount of data you consumed or the extra calls you did home. It will be automated. And that's one of the promises we give you. Solutions. So what we learned so far, manually creates a lot of issues. If you look on tech stacks, today's solutions, very limited. Multiple solutions, expensive, complex, and this is where we come in. Anchor is all about doing business, not billing. Automating the entire billing and collection cycle and getting paid time effortlessly. Our approach is simplicity, speed. Why? Because you don't need to spend time on your billing collections. You need to have a simple process. You need to use a simple tool. A tool that does not look like a scary AR tool or like a QuickBooks view that is so complex. Onboarding to Anchor takes minutes. A training on Anchor takes 15 minutes, you know everything. And we have the ability to onboard hundreds and thousands of people within hours. When I'm saying onboarding, that means, as an example, 2 weeks ago, my team onboarded a CPA firm with 700 clients. It took us hours. And I'm sure if Elena will check with the competitor that she's using, she will say it's a bit longer there. So what you have with Anchor, you have everything you need to operate your business. A proposal software that has the ability to do every type of billing. Recurring, one time, range, right? You can bill, for example, like a range, and you can, after you perform the job, you can actually build a specific amount. So you give you flexibility. You can bill in advance when they sign the agreement. And you can bill based on automatic events. Contract management, another thing that some other tools don't have. The ability, so as we said, the only constant is change. You can add services, you can remove services. So when your business change, when the client business change, you can always play with that. If there is an ad hoc charge, you can simply add the charge to Anchor. It takes you 20 seconds, and the charge will be billed in the next with the next invoice. So that remove all the revenue leakage issue, because you never forget to get paid, and your agreement with your client becomes your anchor. That's the anchor for the relationship. E-signature. Your client can sign on the agreement. Your client can also sign on documents you send them and be billed when they sign it, automatically, of course. Auto invoicing, automated billing and collections, payment processing and reconciliation. So you get everything in one place. One of the cool tricks we have, for example, is the ability to convert your clients from credit cards to ACH. Basically, by allowing you to choose who will pay the processing fee. So your client, for example, will have the issue to choose between either paying the credit card processing fee of 2.9%, or use ACH for free. And that's why more than 98% of the clients of our clients only get ACH. So it saves them 2.9% of their top line. I'll show you a case study in a second, but one of our clients, for example, in 2022 saved because of that 24.6% of the bottom line, just by the processing fees from credit cards. How does it work? You create an agreement on Anchor. It takes, as I was saying, 2 to 4 minutes for the first one. Then you can also duplicate them. If you already have, let's say, 50, 100 clients, we can create 100 agreements for you automatically and push them into your Anchor. So the entire process of proposals for you is simply press send to my client, send, review and send, instead of creating this document, videos, shows, things like that. Your client gets a mobile first agreement. They can use it like, it looks like Amazon. So they can scroll up and down. And based on the research we did of 400 clients, we realized exactly what they want to see. So we show them what they care about, what service they're going to get, and how much they're going to pay for it. Terms and conditions on the bottom. Again, the idea here is to help you to get fast conversion. So it takes you a very short amount of time to create an agreement, to create a proposal, sorry, and it takes your client, on average, 4 minutes to sign it. And that's a big thing for you because you can start getting paid fast. No tips and no tricks like, you know, videos and long manifestos. Getting signed fast. Your client can choose between, as I was saying before, paying the credit card fees or free ACH. And by the way, if you make a decision and you want to pay the processing fees of the credit card, that's fine. You can also do that with Anchor. We give you the flexibility to everything. You can make the decision what's good for your business. Then you provided a service, an automated invoice will go out, and a payment will be taken from your client accounts and move it to your account. And your client gets an invoice in 3 ways. One, in the body of the email so they can read it. So instead of giving them a task of doing a lot of processes on you know, confirming the invoice, it's there. They have also an attachment, a PDF attachment of the invoice. And they can press a button. which will bring them into Anchor. And there they can see the agreement, they can see the past and future, past invoices and future bills, and they can see, like yourselves, a status log. So everything that happened, an activity log, everything that happened in the relationship. So give you and your client a better way to manage your relationship, which in return removes a lot of the friction for you, the same friction we talked about, the uncomfortable discussions. Definitely, we can do billable hours. Thank you for your question, Caroline. We can do billable hours. We can do quantities. So for example, if you do payroll, you can add a unit called payroll or any other unit you want, and you can bill them by the quantity. So if 1 month you had 10 pay slips or 10 people, it's going to be 10 times the amount of money per pay slip. Same mechanism with billable hours. You can decide an amount, a price for a billable hour. If you are a big firm and you have, for example, a partner, a manager, and an associate, for example, we have those as well. Each one of them will have his own a price per hour. And then when you're going to bill them, you can bill them based on their pay rank. And once everything is done, you have the best QuickBooks reconciliation in the market. And we know that because we spent a week in QuickBooks Connect last month. We learned a lot what people said about what's not working for them with QuickBooks integrations. And with Anchor, you can actually see that the invoice was reconciled into QuickBooks. You can see it finished the entire reconciliation process from invoice all the way to payout. Sorry, for the payment. So when you were paid as well, when we transfer the money to your account, we even close the loop on that. So that's not only reconciliation, but it actually gives you the visibility that the reconciliation has actually happened. And with some competitors, as Elena mentioned, this does not happen. And I was saying for Elena, you can choose who will pay the processing fees of the credit card. It can be yourself, it can be your client. You have the flexibility. And we have one promise for you. Never do invoicing, collection, and conciliation ever again. Removing all of that from you. Simply getting paid effortlessly. And we have a dashboard. And why is that? Because we want to remove the burden of billing collections. And what we realized, it's not enough to put a lot of fancy numbers over the statistics in a dashboard. We developed a dashboard that actually tells you what to do. So think about it as your own personal assistant. So you don't need to think about who I should take care of, what issues I have, I need to solve. You can see all of that here. It's an interactive dashboard. So for example, if you have a proposal that was sent and reviewed, you can simply press here and you will see all those were reviewed. So we send it to the right place. We tell you, you need to take care of X and Y. If something has happened, we'll tell you in real time. We send messages, notifications to you and your client in real time. If a credit card has been declined, you and your client will know in real time. Giving you the control, but without the capturing all of your capacity, your brain capacity to deal with that. And yes, Elena, correct. We are completely integrating into QuickBooks Connect, QuickBooks Online, sorry. And I repeat it again. From the moment the invoices is left, Anchor to your client, will push the transaction into QuickBooks, and we'll do the entire cycle from invoice all the way to the money coming into your account. Everything will be recorded on QuickBooks for you, all the general entries. And you also have a confirmation on Anchor that this actually has happened. And this is a data dump, but this is just to brag. These are some of the things we have. Everything you need: proposal, fast proposals, mobile first, high conversion, real time, reminders, email and phone. We send reminders also to, like, as an SMS to your clients, not only emails. And if they're cheeky, we're also adding links, so you can actually send them the link in an email. If they say, oh, I didn't see XYZ, no problem. You can copy the link, send them in real time in your email. We got you covered for that as well. Contract management, single source of truth, live and amendable. QuickBooks become your general ledger, what they're good at. Anchor becomes your way of managing your financials with your clients. And it's getting better and growing more and more. It's transparent, it's automatic. Auto invoicing, calculating, drafting, sending, approvals, payment processing, billing collections, auto reconciliation, everything is in one place. And as I was saying, it's simple, like Dave mentioned, it's fast, it's cost effective for your business. I'm going to show in a second how much it costs, but important to say, we are making money on that, good money. Other people just decide to make more money. Anchor is about simple, stress-free client management. You have the dashboard, a single source of truth, real-time push notifications and action items. We tell you what to do. You don't need to think about it all the time. So when you're spending time at home with your family, you actually can spend time with them instead of thinking about the next invoice you need to send, or the client that is challenging you is not willing to pay on time. Bill, collect, and reconcile automatically always. Automate invoice and collections. So for example, with billable hours, you can agree with your client in advance the number of hours you can bill automatically. And above it, they can approve. So you can also give them control. So for example, you can agree that up to 15 hours a month, they will be billed automatically. And above that, they will need to approve. So it gives you the ability to automatically bill them. So when you bill them, you press bill the client now. If it's a manual, for example, you delivered a project, your client will be billed immediately automatically. If it's above that, they need to approve, but they only need to approve. They only need to approve on the email, like press a button, I approve, instead of starting to pay extra and things like that. And all of that is logged. Updates, upsells, changes, one-time charges. Cool features are coming up. For example, the ability to increase prices automatically. You can agree with your client that year after year, you have the right to automatically update the prices, right? So everybody's doing it. I'm sure you saw that QuickBooks just recently increased their prices automatically. They didn't ask you. Mobile operators do that, and Netflix is doing it. Everybody's doing it. So you will be able to do that as well with Anchor. That's the only solution out there that allows you to do that. And additional more features. Send agreements onboard to Anchor automatically. It's a process we developed. We have the ability to bulk or upload your clients. It says up to 500 clients per upload. We can do multiple uploads of those. Credit card to ACH conversion. It's a big thing. That saves a lot of money. No more getting paid by credit card. And if your clients do want to do it because they want to get the mileage, you don't have to pay for it. With us, actually, you can transfer the cost to them, which makes them actually use ACH for free. So it saves you and your relationship. It makes you more competitive as well. I see there was a question also about zero integration. Not a direct integration, but we are able to create a file, a CSV, so you can push into Xero. Super easy. Dedicated human customer success. Every one of us, small and big, has a person they can speak with, they can email to, can give them training. And everything for $5 per invoice. Per payment, actually, it's more correct. So if your invoice is $500, you will get $495, and we'll get $5 when you get paid. It's a win-win model. That's a flat price. No 1% to $10. no 1% to $5, but we take subscription. So no solution today. So there's a question that I'm not sure I heard. Can we remove the option to credit card payments and only offer ACH? Yes. You can decide that you're going to pay the credit card fees, for example, and they will have ACH. You want to give them the options. If you give your client only one option, it will cause an issue. Every tool do that. And by the way, we can develop, if this is something that will come up a lot, we always can develop an option to offer your clients only ACH. However, what we saw from discussions also with bookkeepers and accountants is that clients want to have multiple ways to pay. So for example, if your client has a cash flow issues, they might want to use credit card. And if they have issues and they want to use a credit card, you can offer them to use a credit card, but they will pay the fees. So you are giving them the options to pay, which is better practice for them. Thank you for that, Atina. We'll take it into consideration, of course. And I'm also going to move that to my product team as well. That's one of the cool things about us. We are a super agile company. We developed our product from clients. And as my product team will always say, I think there is every day I'm sending them product requests from either from current clients or from sales calls we have. And people tell us, oh, I can really appreciate X, Y, Z. And we can develop those things pretty fast. And that's the experience. And the value is not only for you, but it's also for your clients. Important to say. It saves also time for your client, gives them confidence, control, which is very important for them. I can tell you that as the head of finance of my company, I always want to be in control. I want to trust. Our system is a system that you cannot build whatever you want. You can build based on your agreement with your client. So your client is also protected. And that means your relationship will be better and less friction. There is a case study here, which I'm going to speak about for 2 minutes, and then we're going to follow up for the questions. A bookkeeping firm, one of the first clients we had from Utah. And these are the results. And by the way, if you want to speak to them, we're always happy to refer. 24, and these are the results for 2022. 24.6% after-tax profit increase. That's a saving from moving all of their clients to ACH, from checks, cash, credit card, all those things. Even when someone pays a cash or credit card or a check, it costs you money, even if it's time. About 260 hours of monthly admin work saved and 10% of management time. So they were able to redirect people in the business to focus on revenue generation activities versus doing the mundane work of billing collections. So they actually went down from 4 AR admins to basically half a person, and the rest were repurposed in the business. And one is about to retire. 0 DSO for 98% of clients due to instant auto payments. 200% ROI. Real-time management view, 3 to 4 minutes to create and sign your proposals, and 80% of proposals signed within 4 minutes. These are the real stats. 95% decrease in the client conflicts. That's very important. And to summarize, and it's because your community is super important for us, and the relationship with you, we do offer some credit for those of you that want to join us. As you saw, we charge $5 pay as you go. That means that you don't have to do the subscription. There is never a subscription. You can simply go into the platform, start using it. You can book a demo. If you use this QR code, you can book a demo. We can go into our website and book a demo with us. And we'll be happy to chat with you, to show you what it's all about. and to show you how simple that can be for you, how simple can life be. And I hope you enjoy this session. And let's open the stage for questions. I'm going to keep, so the next slide is questions. I'm going to keep it here so you can actually scan the code if you want, the QR code, and feel free to shoot questions in the chat. Okay. Yes, correct. And thank you for the question, Dave. So when you log into Anchor, basically you have the ability to add a logo, choose your brand color. And you know what? I'm gonna show you stuff. Why not? If you have extra time and people don't ask questions, I'm gonna open the demo. I'm a bit casual. I hope everybody's okay with that. This is a demo view of our dashboard. So now we're actually gonna see a live demo. Perfect. Thanks, Wendy. So this is the view of anchors I told you. So divided into agreement pipeline, pending invoices, so your management of your invoices, and your real cash flow view. So we actually show you on which day you're going to get paid and how much. So it gives you a cash flow view. So let's look at the agreement pipeline. So you sent agreements and some were reviewed. You can, as I was saying, you can actually press here and get to your proposal section. And you can see, for example, that your client already reviewed the proposal. We send them reminders automatically. You actually have the ability to send additional reminders. And as I was saying, you can copy the link to the proposal and paste it on your email, or even send it on WhatsApp to your clients if they're a bit cheeky, and say, oh, I didn't get it, might be in my spam, all those interesting ideas people have. You have the view of your invoices. And if, for example, you see you got paid, so we simplify things for you. And for example, some of our competitors, actually most of them, when they charge your clients, your client will see on their bank account your vendor name. So the name of the company provides you the tool. With us, your client will always see your name. So for example, if Wendy's business name is Wendy, they will see Wendy, the bill from Wendy. And Tara, it's actually very interesting because one of the benefits of using it, you see, we designed it to be very simple. And the reason is because it was designed for bookkeepers and CPAs, but it's also designed for every other professional or service provider vertical. So everybody can use it. It's so simple. You have a view of all of your agreements in one place. If there are any issues, you will see them here. So you don't need to figure out, you know, who should I need to take care of. I keep those issues on purpose, by the way. If you got paid, as I was saying, we deposit one amount into your bank account. So you don't need to chase in your bank account additional when X and Y paid me. That takes a lot of time, as you probably know. So if I press here, for example, I can see the line here, and I can see all the clients that paid, that I got the money from at a specific date. So I can simply press the invoice and see. That's, of course, the demo version, yeah? You can create your own service library with all of your services. You can customize them, give you control, notifications. Again, everything in a very organized, sleek way. And I want to show you one last thing. I want to show you your client experience. So creating an agreement is super fast, as I was saying. You choose your client name. Just an example, doesn't really matter. Agreement settings, you can define in advance. introductory message, agreement effective date, terms and conditions. You can use ours or you can use your own. You can choose it. Payment settings, build up at the end of the period or the beginning or specific day. Payment terms, and who is paying a credit card processing fee. Usually you can define it in advance, and then you just choose the services. In this case, I'm just going to add these two. That's it. I'm done. I created an agreement. I'm going to press next now. This is the email template you're going to see, and I'm sending the agreement. It literally took me a minute to create a real agreement. It's a demo environment. That's how it looks like. Now, what your client is going to see. That's the cool part. A very slick view, very clean view. And as I was saying, mobile first. This is how it's going to sit on the smartphone. Everybody uses smartphone today. They can see the services, what they're going to pay for and how much. Exactly what they want to see, and description. And terms and conditions. They can connect the payment method, as I was saying, free ACH or credit card for a fee. If they're already existing clients, you don't even need to use that because you already have them on Anchor. And they can sign with a swipe with finger. And this agreement is now signed. That's the Anchor experience for you. This is a signed agreement. And your client, just like you, can see the agreement, can see upcoming bills, can see paid invoices. I'll show that on the other side. You can see the invoices, upcoming bills, and the activity log. You are in control. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will schedule a demo with us. It will be probably with me, by the way, so we can talk in person. And of course, Tara, invoices are paid automatically. Unless you want it to be manual. For example, if you want to bill them after you finish the project, you have an option to choose when you want to bill them, so you can just press bill now. Looking forward to meet you all, and have a perfect rest of the week. Thank you.